Yeah, lock in the building. Yeah.
My nigga artists in the building, you know how we give it up.
Yeah. Do right good. Do right good.
I can work that about this cousin. You know, he gon' lie, he got more head than he got body.
The entire hip-hop elite is in an absolute state of pure, unmitigated shock right now after what was supposed to be the most exclusive, star-studded celebration of the year instantly degenerated into a scene of absolute physical chaos. Inside the highly secured walls of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's massive 51st birthday party, a sudden, explosive, and hyper-violent confrontation completely paralyzed A-list celebrities when A$AP Rocky and a Boogie with a hoodie abruptly locked eyes and launched into a brutal, unchecked screaming match. The tension escalated so rapidly that elite private security teams had to physically throw themselves into the center of the VIP lounge to tear the two rap juggernauts apart. But the nightmare reached a point of absolute madness when, during the terrifying scuffle, 50 Cent's iconic, custom-built, multi-thousand-dollar cash-loaded birthday cake was violently smashed directly onto the floor, completely destroying the ultimate centerpiece of the night. Now, top industry insiders are frantically leaking contradictory reports from behind closed doors, leaving the global audience completely divided by a chilling conspiracy question. Was this a genuine, deep-rooted street conflict exploding into daylight, or did 50 Cent orchestrate this entire multi-million-dollar psychological disaster himself just to trigger the ultimate internet meltdown? Do not look away, because we are breaking down the exclusive eyewitness receipts, the leaked backstage footage, and the sinister hidden motive that proves the birthday countdown was nothing but a setup for total cultural execution. To truly grasp the catastrophic structural collapse that occurred within the golden walls of this private celebration, we have to pull back the curtain on the hyper-exclusive, dangerous landscape of the entertainment industry. The year is 2026, and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson turning 51 isn't just treated as a routine personal milestone. It is handled by the culture as a monumental, historic event explicitly designed to shift power dynamics. The venue chosen for this ultra-secret gathering was a newly constructed, multi-million-dollar subterranean luxury lounge hidden deep beneath the high-security grid of New York City. The guest list read like an absolute master roster of global pop royalty: Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Rihanna, Travis Scott, Drake, and every dominant power player in modern music were all packed into a single, enclosed VIP glass pavilion. Millions of dollars in flawless diamond timepieces, high-end custom couture, and pristine industry reputations were floating through the room under the tight, militaristic watch of elite private security forces. The atmosphere was explicitly engineered to project absolute, untouchable power, wealth, and elite status. But beneath the glittering surface of this billionaire presentation lay a complex, highly volatile network of deep-rooted industry friction, just waiting for a single microscopic spark to detonate the entire room into absolute pandemonium. Enter the two main catalysts of this historic midnight explosion: A$AP Rocky and a Boogie with a hoodie. To the casual observer, these two iconic artists represent completely different lanes and sub-ecosystems of the New York hip-hop empire. A$AP Rocky has spent over a decade meticulously constructing a legacy built on high-fashion integration, elite European luxury partnerships, and an untouchable global artistic presentation alongside his powerhouse partner, Rihanna. A Boogie with a hoodie, by contrast, commands the raw, multi-platinum streaming matrix of the streets, boasting an intensely loyal, hyperactive fanbase that completely dominates the digital charts and controls the sonic wave of the outer boroughs. For years, subtle whispers and confidential leaks have echoed through corporate recording studios regarding a quiet, cold-blooded territorial war between their respective inner circles. High-level industry insiders have repeatedly pointed toward hidden conflicts over creative dominance in New York, overlapping clothing brand endorsements, and historical social circles that have quietly forced these two massive camps to maintain an uneasy, highly tense state of mutual avoidance. They were never, under any circumstances, meant to be placed inside the same high-pressure, tightly enclosed VIP space, especially under the chaotic influence of supreme industry egos and constant media scrutiny. But you cannot analyze a single event inside a 50 Cent production without analyzing the cold-blooded, tactical genius of the host himself. 50 Cent has spent his entire half-century of existence operating as the undisputed puppet player of cultural chaos. From his legendary, blood-soaked street battles in the early 2000s to his clinical, multi-million-dollar corporate takedowns of rival moguls on social media, Curtis Jackson does not do a single thing by accident. He treats human emotion, celebrity ego, and artistic tension as an absolute, predictable science. When he engineered the exclusive seating arrangements and the restricted VIP access codes for his 51st birthday bash, he knew with absolute certainty which personalities were highly volatile, which rivalries were quietly simmering under the surface, and exactly how much pressure the room could take before the glass pavilion completely shattered into pieces. The stage was systematically set for a historic, inevitable collision. What the star-studded crowd didn't realize as they walked through those heavily guarded doors was that they weren't just attending a birthday party. They were walking directly onto a highly theatrical, psychologically weaponized stage where a single calculated move was about to trigger the most humiliating public relations disaster of the decade. The absolute structural nightmare began flashing across insider networks at exactly 2:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday morning, completely tearing down the final remnants of corporate secrecy. To fully understand how beautifully and ruthlessly calculated this strike truly is, you have to visualize the exact geographic coordinate where the luxury illusion was shattered. The high-security VIP glass pavilion of an ultra-exclusive subterranean luxury lounge hidden deep beneath the high-security grid of New York City. The clock was creeping toward the critical threshold of midnight, and the high-society energy inside the venue had reached an absolute fever pitch. The bass was rattling the structural foundations, luxury drinks were flowing like water, and the undisputed highlight of the evening was finally rolled out into the absolute center of the lounge. 50 Cent's custom-built birthday masterpiece. This was not a standard piece of confectionery. It was a towering, structural work of art coated entirely in 24-karat edible gold leaf, aggressively decorated with pristine historical diamond chains and meticulously stuffed with thousands of dollars in crisp, uncirculated $100 bills protruding from the layers to symbolize his unmatched corporate dominance. The surrounding A-list celebrities crowded around the display, holding up high-end smartphones to document the absolute pinnacle of hip-hop opulence, completely unaware that the luxury aura was about to completely dissolve into a state of absolute, unchecked violence. A sudden, violent shift in human energy cracked through the right side of the glass pavilion. According to detailed eyewitness statements from high-level venue security personnel who were standing mere feet away from the action, A$AP Rocky was conversing near the edge of the luxury display lounge when a boogie with a hoodie and 3 core members of his immediate security detail shifted positions, moving aggressively into his personal space. Witnesses state that an accidental shoulder bump occurred near the gold leaf cake table, a minor physical contact that instantly acted as a highly volatile chemical trigger for years of unspoken hostility and hidden territorial tension between their respective New York circles. Within seconds, the room went completely dead silent as the DJ cut the audio track, sensing the immediate danger. A$AP Rocky turned around, his face instantly contorting into an expression of unadulterated, blinding rage, pointing his finger directly into a boogie's face and demanding immediate accountability. A boogie did not back down for a single millisecond, stepping forward with an intense, aggressive chest-to-chest posture, shouting highly confrontational words that echoed off the high-security walls. The emotional conflict in the room was completely magnified, raw, and deeply terrifying for the stars trapped inside the enclosed VIP glass pavilion. Surrounding superstars instantly froze in a state of absolute, paralyzed panic. Rihanna was spotted gasping in shock and being immediately shielded by her personal protection team, while Travis Scott, Jay-Z, and Drake rapidly backed away toward the emergency exit doors to completely avoid the impending blast radius of the street-level hostility. A boogie's team aggressively advanced, pushing hard against Rocky's inner circle, and before anyone could attempt to de-escalate the situation, physical fists began flying in an absolute, unchecked blur of raw violence. Elite private security teams wearing tactical gear instantly threw themselves into the absolute center of the VIP melee, attempting to construct a physical human wall between the two screaming rap juggernauts. The chaotic scuffle became a violent vortex of moving bodies, multi-million-dollar jewelry flying through the air, and absolute public pandemonium. And then, the absolute unthinkable happened. As a massive, heavy-set security guard was violently pushed backward by the intense momentum of the brawling crowd, his tactical vest slammed directly into the fragile support pillars of the custom cake display table. 50 Cent's multi-thousand-dollar, gold-plated, cash-loaded birthday cake tipped over in agonizing slow motion, crashing violently directly onto the hardwood floor. The luxury structure completely shattered into golden dust, scattering thousands of dollars in real $100 bills across the floor, completely covered in broken display glass and crushed frosting. The ultimate centerpiece of the night was completely demolished in a single second of absolute madness. The physical altercation was immediately halted by the sheer, suffocating shock of the destruction, leaving both camps standing in a state of breathless, sweat-drenched silence as the realization of what they had just destroyed set in. But right here, at the absolute peak of this historic embarrassment, comes the first mind-bending twist that has left the world's top corporate entertainment lawyers completely paralyzed with shock. Less than 40 minutes after the venue was evacuated by local authorities, an anonymous whistleblower account operating on a secured Telegram channel leaked a verified, high-definition screenshot of an encrypted digital communication trail from the venue's internal server. The leak proved database records beyond a shadow of a doubt that A$AP Rocky and a Boogie did not start this violent confrontation over their own old street issues or a simple accidental shoulder bump. The highly confidential leak revealed that exactly 3 minutes before the fight broke out, one of 50 Cent's personal, top-tier private bodyguards had walked up to a Boogie's ear and whispered a highly specific, toxic, and completely fabricated insult, claiming that Rocky had just ordered his team to have a Boogie violently removed from the VIP section. Simultaneously, a secondary guard had delivered a mirror image fake tip to Rocky's circle, claiming a Boogie was actively planning to publicly disrespect his partner. The entire confrontation was completely engineered from the inside out. They were deliberately driven into a state of blind, unadulterated rage by the host's own security apparatus, transforming the entire star-studded birthday celebration into a highly orchestrated, clinical setup for absolute cultural chaos. 50 Cent's own team had explicitly manipulated the two biggest names in New York hip-hop to spark a hyper-violent brawl right next to the most expensive asset in the room, making the situation infinitely worse than anyone could have ever expected. The digital landscape did not just experience a routine traffic spike. It suffered a complete and total catastrophic collapse at exactly 4:45 a.m. when the first unedited, close-up clips of the destroyed luxury cash cake hit the global network. The global internet base completely lost its mind as the hashtags #CakeGate and #50partychaos went nuclear, trending at #1 worldwide across every single algorithmic stream, tracking an astronomical 4 million frantic posts in a matter of hours. Traditional rap blogs and independent financial commentators instantly began running frame-by-frame, high-definition analyses of the leaked footage, trying to determine the exact identity of the hand that caused the final physical push against the display table. The narrative was moving so incredibly fast that it created an absolute vacuum of structural panic across the music industry. You could literally see the comments updating at a rate of 20,000 posts per second, with fans screaming in absolute disbelief at the sight of one of hip-hop's most expensive celebrations turning into a literal street-level war zone. The escalation instantly triggered a wave of high-intensity social media warfare between the respective celebrity inner circles, forcing prominent figures to post frantic reactions and delete them within seconds to avoid massive corporate liability. A prominent leaked Twitter thread from an insider account captured the immediate, raw panic of the industry elite. A verified account reporting from inside the venue tweeted, "Yo, I was standing literally 2 feet away from the cake display when the security wall collapsed. The energy in that room went from billionaire luxury to pure street chaos in a split second." I had to pull my team out immediately because it felt like a complete ambush. Hashtag 50party chaos. Within 90 seconds, that tweet was completely scrubbed from the internet, but not before G-Unit's official media page fired back with a chilling, remorseless reply. Focus on your own streaming metrics, son. The champ isn't worried about a piece of sugar. The cash on the floor is just a tip for the New York cleaning crew. Move carefully. Hashtag gun it. The sheer psychological terror of G-Unit's digital defense force caused a total blackout among other A-list attendees, with superstars like Drake and Nicki Minaj completely scrubbing their automated birthday wishes from their timelines to stay as far away from the radioactive fallout as humanly possible. But right here, at the absolute peak of this historic public relations disaster, comes the second mind-bending, unexpected twist that has completely changed the entire narrative and left global authorities completely paralyzed with shock. As forensic digital analysts and internet sleuths began zooming into the ultra-high-definition still frames of the thousands of $100 bills scattered across the hardwood floor inside the crushed golden frosting, they discovered a terrifying detail that blew the conspiracy wide open. The currency stuffed inside 50 Cent's birthday masterpiece was not regular cash. Every single bill carried a highly specific, glowing ultraviolet serial number sequence belonging directly to an active, high-level federal tracking treasury cache. The money was literally marked federal evidence linked to an ongoing international money laundering sting operation. This completely changes everything you think you know about this party. 50 Cent did not just manufacture a celebrity brawl to break the internet. He had explicitly packed a table with marked federal currency, knowing that the physical altercation would scatter the bills directly into the hands and clothing of A$AP Rocky and a Boogie's entourages. By forcing their security teams to scramble across the floor amidst the chaos, the host had technically and legally contaminated both rap camps with marked federal assets, effectively framing them as active participants in a major financial crime distribution ring. The entire birthday pavilion was a beautifully orchestrated legal trap designed to give federal prosecutors immediate probable cause to execute search warrants on both artists' corporate estates. The institutional backlash from this shocking reveal has been completely merciless and swift. Within the last 3 hours, 3 major European high-fashion houses connected to A$AP Rocky's multi-million-dollar modeling contracts have reportedly issued emergency legal standstills, completely freezing his pending promotional payouts until his legal team can clear his name from the Federal Asset Tracking Registry. Simultaneously, global music streaming executives have held emergency board meetings to discuss scrubbing a Boogie's entire catalog from prominent playlists to avoid corporate association with a suspected federal conspiracy. The entire hip-hop ecosystem has been thrown into a state of absolute, unmitigated terror as label bosses realize that anyone who stepped foot inside that subterranean lounge might now be captured on federal surveillance logs. Which brings us directly to the ultimate, terrifying cliffhanger that has just leaked from a secured server in the last 10 minutes. A secondary, highly confidential infrared video feed captured from the rear exit of the subterranean lounge shows a mysterious, unmarked black vehicle pulling up to the venue exactly 60 seconds before the first punch was thrown. The footage explicitly captures a high-level music executive being handed a duplicate set of master access keys by the venue's head of security, raising an entirely new, bone-chilling question. Did 50 Cent really plan this entire trap alone to destroy his rivals? Or was he acting as a puppet himself for a hidden, multi-billion-dollar corporate syndicate that wanted all 3 of these hip-hop titans permanently eliminated from the industry landscape? The doomsday clock is counting down to 0, and the answers are about to unleash absolute devastation. The global entertainment landscape has been completely turned into a raging digital war zone as the terrifying financial implications of the marked federal cash leak send the entire public into an absolute state of frantic, unchecked hysteria. We're talking about millions of active social media accounts, high-level music executives, and global news agencies completely abandoning their regular programming to lock into a non-stop, 24-hour cycle of pure psychological warfare. The comment sections across TikTok, X, and Instagram have completely devolved into toxic, hyperactive trenches, dividing the entire cultural landscape into 2 fiercely hostile factions that are actively tearing each other apart over the survival of the hip-hop industry. On one side of the digital trenches, an absolute wave of raw fury has erupted from fans of A$AP Rocky and A Boogie Wit a Hoodie, who are screaming that Curtis 50 Cent Jackson has completely crossed the ultimate line of street honor. The internet has been flooded with massive protest threads, accusing the G-Unit mogul of transitioning from a classic rap beef competitor into a full-blown institutional operative. One viral post with over 500,000 likes reads, 50 Cent didn't just win a petty internet feud, he literally weaponized the federal government and used a birthday party to set up a corporate trap for two of New York's biggest independent icons. Hacking a cake with marked federal treasury cash is not hip-hop, it is pure structural sabotage. He is actively trying to send his peers to federal prison just to clear out the competition. But on the completely opposite side of the ledger, 50 Cent's diehard loyalists and financial trolls are executing a remorseless victory parade that is utterly crushing the timeline. They are flooding every single archival video of the incident with billions of handcuffs, rat, and radioactive emojis, launching a wave of public mockery that has reached an absolute peak of psychological cruelty. Their counterargument is completely ruthless. You out here talking about being street smart and running multi-million-dollar fashion empires, but you let a 51-year-old man manipulate you into fighting over an accidental shoulder bump like high school kids? If you are dumb enough to scramble across a hardwood floor picking up dirty cake money without checking the serial numbers, you deserve to have your assets frozen by the feds. 50 Cent is playing grandmaster chess while the rest of the industry is playing checkers. Simultaneously, mainstream news reports have sent the corporate music world into an absolute state of blind, unadulterated panic. Major entertainment news networks have completely abandoned their standard celebrity gossip segments to bring on elite white-collar defense attorneys and forensic accountants to analyze the live court filings. On the morning broadcast of the industry's most dominant radio syndicate, the hosts completely lost control, getting into a fierce screaming match over whether the Department of Justice would issue immediate arrest warrants before the week ends. Rumors are frantically leaking from inside major record labels that a secret emergency meeting has been called between the top streaming platforms to discuss whether they need to completely restrict the distribution of the artists involved to avoid being hit with federal obstruction charges. The division in the culture has grown so profoundly volatile that even neutral observers are realizing this single birthday incident has permanently shattered the legal boundaries of the entertainment business. And it leaves a terrifying, burning question echoing through the streets. If 50 Cent is truly willing to burn down his own multi-thousand-dollar celebration to trap his rivals, who is next on his corporate hit list, and how deep does this federal conspiracy actually go? Prepare yourself for the absolute, ultimate mind-bending climax that is about to turn every single piece of viral news commentary completely upside down. At exactly 3:40 a.m., just a few hours ago, a high-level decentralized hacker collective operating on the encrypted layers of the dark web successfully breached a hidden server, dropping a classified audio file that has left forensic financial analysts and international corporate lawyers completely paralyzed with terror. The file, titled simply rocknation_control_99, contains a secret, intercepted phone conversation between the mysterious music executive in the black vehicle and an elite legal team, recorded just moments after the subterranean venue was completely locked down by local authorities. The audio track is terrifyingly clear, yet filled with a calculated, bone-chilling atmosphere. The voice on the phone does not belong to a regular record label employee, and it certainly does not belong to anyone in 50 Cent's circle. Instead, the voice belongs to the chief corporate strategist for a massive entertainment conglomerate closely aligned with Jay-Z and Rihanna. He lets out a slow, sinister laugh before dropping a bomb that completely rewrites the history of this entire night. The idiot actually did it. Curtis thought he was running a brilliant federal sting operation, but he just signed the death warrant for his entire G-Unit media empire on his own security cameras. The script of this entire conflict has just been completely rewritten in blood. According to the explosive corporate strategies outlined in the leaked audio file, the entire physical confrontation between A$AP Rocky and A Boogie Wit a Hoodie was not an organic street fight, and it wasn't a successful setup by 50 Cent either. It was a beautifully orchestrated, lethal reverse corporate trap designed to permanently eliminate 50 Cent from the media landscape. The leaked audio explicitly reveals that the joint legal teams of the artists involved had discovered 50 Cent's secret plan to plant marked federal treasury cash inside the birthday cake over 3 weeks ago. Realizing that the host was attempting to execute a highly illegal corporate setup, they intentionally instructed their security details to stage a highly dramatic, exaggerated physical alteration right next to the display table. They wanted the chaos to reach a boiling point because they knew 50 Cent's extreme ego would force him to deliver the final command to drop the cake. By capturing 50 Cent on his own high-definition surveillance feeds, actively giving the explicit verbal order to drop the cake and scatter the marked federal assets across the room, they successfully documented the host committing a massive, definitive act of felony federal entrapment and illegal currency distribution. 50 Cent didn't trap his rivals. His rivals completely baited him into acting as the primary distributor of blacklisted government funds on a live security feed. The dark web leak completely proves that the upcoming federal indictments are not heading toward ASAP Rocky or a boogie with the hoodie. The Department of Justice is actively preparing to move in on the host himself. Because 50 Cent legally owns the venue and explicitly commanded the destruction of the cake containing the marked currency, his media conglomerate, Prestige Sky Holdings, is now facing immediate corporate liquidation under federal anti-racketeering statutes. The immediate fallout is turning into a literal horror movie for G-Unit. Unverified insider reports are claiming that within the last 30 minutes, multiple unmarked federal vehicles have just been spotted staging directly outside 50 Cent's primary corporate headquarters in New York, preparing to execute a massive asset seizure order. The entire culture is holding its breath in absolute terror. This is no longer a simple birthday party disaster. It is a literal countdown to a systemic cultural execution, and the next 24 hours will change the music industry forever. The doomsday clock has entered its final, most volatile phase, and an anonymous whistleblower has just revealed that a secondary, unreleased data file containing the names of every corporate executive who helped 50 Cent fund the trap is countdown locked to leak in exactly 12 hours. Nobody knows who will survive the blast radius, but the absolute destruction is already loading in the background. The doomsday clock has officially entered the red zone, and the entire G-Unit empire is on the absolute verge of a total corporate collapse. This is no longer a simple birthday scandal. It's a high-stakes war for literal survival and freedom. I need to hear from you right now. Did ASAP Rocky and a boogie just pull off the ultimate reverse trap in history? Or is 50 Cent about to drop a counter docket that destroys the entire industry? Drop your predictions in the comments below right now. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. The absolute second those federal indictments leak, we are going live. Stay locked. The destruction is loading.